They were the binders heard round the world at Tuesday's debate.
I went to a number of women's groups and said, can you help us find folks? And they brought us whole binders full of women.
Well, of course, we're now, the reason we're focusing on this is that the race to secure women's votes may have tightened up after the first presidential debate. But will that comment, will Mitt Romney's binders full of women comment maybe cost him some of their support? Wall Street Journal's Laura Meckler has been on the campaign trail and joins us to analyze the issue. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
So first off, before we get to the binders line, which has created, internet memes all over the place, let's talk about the polling. Different polls are showing different things. Obama had been way up among women, and then now some polls are saying they're closer to tied. What's the truth there?
Well, it's hard to know. I mean, there are a few polls that show it really tightened. Most people think, though, that there is still a gender gap in Obama's favor. Generally speaking, Democrats do better with women than Republicans do, and that's been true of Obama all year. So, we need to see more polling to know for sure. But there were a few alarm bells set off by the couple polls that did show the race even among women.
Okay, and those were the national polls that suggested that
Right.
the race was evening out. In swing states, it's a different story. We're talking Florida, Virginia, Ohio. What's the story there?
Right. Well, our poll from last week, which was after the first debate, showed a substantial gender gap in Obama's favor, with him doing better than women by 10 points or more. So really, he probably does still have the advantage. But this is still a very important group either way, no matter what the polls show. I mean, it's half the vote, half the electorate. So obviously, it's important. And women, the Obama campaign strategists tell us that more of the undecided voters are women than men. So this is a very important group for both campaigns to try to woo, and they're both trying to do it in different ways.
Okay, now let's get to that line. Binders full of women. Mitt Romney was talking about his time as Massachusetts governor, trying to find qualified women to include in his administration while Massachusetts governor. This line is being really lampooned across the internet. What's the impact going to be?
Well, it's hard to say. When things take on a life of their own, it's hard to know, how far it'll go, because does it represent something larger? Is it just sort of a weird thing to say, or is it something like, well, why couldn't he, why didn't he know any women? Why did he have to go, get these binders full of women? I've already seen some people talking about going for Halloween, women, dressed as, inside a binder. So if this takes on its own life, and if people think it means something larger about Mitt Romney and about his ability and interest in working with women, then that's a problem. I don't know that Romney is known as somebody who has had a problem working with women. Some of the senior people in his campaign are women, but in general, he hasn't appealed to women as much, and that's also because of other very real issues like contraception, Planned Parenthood, abortion. These are issues that a lot of women care about.
Okay, now speaking of abortion and some of these issues that women care about, I mean, that's really the reason why it makes sense that President Obama would probably lead among women. I mean, what abortion is the top issue, correct? Or the Romney campaign is saying that women care more about jobs. What's the truth there?
Women care about a lot of things, and the jobs and the economy are the top issue for everybody. But the social issues are important for a lot of women as well. And for some people, they're sort of a threshold issue. Can I accept the idea of this person being president, given his positions? And Romney has tacked pretty far to the right. Obviously, like most Republicans, he's against having abortion be legal, except in rare cases, rape, incest, or to save the life of the mother. But he's also talked about cutting off federal funding for Planned Parenthood, which a lot of anti-abortion activists are very against Planned Parenthood because they also offer abortions. But Planned Parenthood, of course, does lots of contraception, and most women use contraception, and most women are highly in favor of contraception. They associate Planned Parenthood with contraception. And the idea that he would cut funding for that is very problematic. Obama mentions that repeatedly. He mentioned it during the debate. It's in an ad he has on the air right now. It's been in 5 ads he's had on the air this year. So that's a really powerful issue, this Planned Parenthood thing.
Okay, Laura, thanks so much for joining us this morning.